Hi, I'm Fight, and today I want to talk about the first week of the 13th block with my coach. It's been a while since I last talked to you. About 2 weeks. I was coming off my last block and I was kind of sick. Took a deload week, worked out normally, but intensity is reduced, and that I think worked pretty well, considering that the first week actually also went extremely well, I would say. Um, we didn't change tremendously much. We changed, as you can see, the front lever progression to now be a single leg, which I think is more than welcome. I got kind of sick of advanced tuck, and I do think that the single leg progression actually works pretty well for me. Um, so I think this week was actually pretty solid in that I did okay weights for most of my stuff, and I was okay with my form on most things. Um, I don't think that I did anything particularly spectacular, but I got my work in. I didn't overshoot. And except for the last day, everything was pretty solid, I'd say. Um, so this first day, for instance, right, I did 15 for 6 for 4 sets on the pull-ups, and that was really easy. You will see when this week's workout recap drops that I increased weight tremendously on that. But I think that's pretty good, right? And also on dips, I chose a pretty lightweight that I was able to push up pretty easily, and so I was able to increase that. I also chose to use the normal bumper plates here for my weights, and I think that's a terrible decision because they're pretty broad, and even with the little weight that I'm using, this is a full front lever, my first one. I just did that on a win, and it just worked. Um, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. I think bumper plates are just a terrible idea for deadlifts. Um, yeah, lower day went pretty okay. I think the intensity was still pretty low. Um, so I think that here, I did the full front lever that day as well. Then I did 130 and I moved pretty easy on squats. Did my volume sets, and then I went over to the RDLs, and we moved over from stiff leg deadlifts to RDLs. They've been treating me really well. As you can see, like my range of motion isn't tremendous, but if I go deeper, I feel more of the work shifted to my back instead of my hamstrings, and we really want to focus on my hamstrings, so I'm keeping the range of motion as it is. I think that's just the most productive for me. So there we're doing rollouts, and they were solid, nothing spectacular. But at this point in my week, I'm still, doing pretty well. And I don't think that, I think the trajectory was just going really well this week, right? It's a good intro week. Everything's moving. Nothing is particularly special, but everything kind of feels pretty solid. Here, the muscle up felt pretty okay. Um, Sorry about all of the videos of me in underwear, but that's what what I train in at home. It's just most comfortable, and on the handstand push-ups and handstand work in general, I just see my line much better. And yeah, here we're now not doing negatives, we're doing partials, so like 90 degrees or a little bit less and up again, so you can work on the movement. Um, Otherwise, the day is like virtually unchanged, I think. I'm doing all the same exercises that I did before, or like last meso basically. Um, the pull-ups were okay, or chin-ups here, were okay. I'm starting out with 25 for 5, and I think that's actually pretty hard. That's a lot, but I'm hoping that this week it gets a little bit easier. On the bench, I was happy that I'm moving on to bigger weights. So that's 74 6 for 4 sets. I'm hoping that I can push the envelope a little bit this week and go a little bit higher. I should be able to. Um, so that would be cool. I'm still not super centered, as you can see. Like sometimes I push a little bit more with one side, but in general, like my positioning is slowly but surely getting better, which will allow me hopefully to push some more weight. The wrist wraps might be overkill at this point, but I want to get used to them. They are also, I'm using them here and on low bar back squats, and I don't strictly think that they're necessary, but I'm using them just um, to make sure that I learn how to use them so that I'm not just using them on super big sets and then being kind of weirded out when it doesn't work, right? Because using your equipment is also a skill, as we will see actually in the on day 4. Um, but I don't want to say too much yet. We're gonna look at me failing a laughable weight next, 170 kilos on the deadlift. And that has a very specific reason. I came into a session with a friend and I was on this hammer strength platform, and on the on the top set, I wore socks because these Feiyus are super unstable, but this hammer strength Oli platform is so slippery that I slipped with my foot and I couldn't lock it out, and I was kind of feeling weird because of the slippage. And so I decided, okay, all right, this is not gonna go super well today. I was doing my yoga weekend, so I was super duper limber, which wasn't incredible for stability. Um, I learned that I can do a full pancake, and I learned that, I can do a lotus headstand at the moment, both of which are cool, but both of which do not lend themselves well to being followed up with lower body strength training, I think. Um, my friend was filming here, and this isn't the best angle. No offense to him. He was, I think, being really nice filming me, but you can't really see much of what's going on. Lately, my camera angles haven't been really on point, but that's besides the point. I mean, in the end, it's about the workout. Um, I don't think I was particularly deep either that day on my squats, but that's also because I felt pretty unstable. So everything good except for the last day, which is fine. It happens. That's all I have for this week. Thank you for watching, and see you around.